Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a power couple from Dallas who is bringing culturally craveable brands to DFW. Their incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
So I'm a big fan of Local Profile. I get it every single month, and I saw a recent episode or edition of Local Profile, and they featured this amazing couple with this great smile, and I could just tell it's strange when you can get energy off of a magazine, but I said I need to get this couple in my studio because they're doing some incredible things in DFW. Chalon Kark and Richard Thomas are in the house. Thank you for both coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, you have such an incredible journey. Let's begin with you, Chalon, because you're a lawyer by trade.
I am a lawyer, commercial litigator.
Okay, so how did you get into design?
I guess it was always there when I look back. You know, I started with designing our homes that we lived in together. And one time my husband came home and was like, I bought a house. We're going to flip it and you're going to design it. And I'm like, what? So we did that. We did it in 6 weeks. It was nights and weekends. I was practicing law during the day, in court during the day, and at night we were refinishing furniture. Oh, and I forgot to say, and when it was done, he told me our budget was $2,000 to stage the whole thing. So I'm at antique shows. I'm picking people's stuff off the lawn that people left, you know, that was going to the garbage. But I'm like, that sure looks like I could refinish it. And so I did that, and the realtor saw it and he said, who staged the house? I'm like, me. He's like, can you stage homes for me? I'm like, I'm just a lawyer. No way. And he kept asking, friends kept asking when they come to my house and say, who's your designer? I'm like, it's just me. Will you do it for me? No, I'm just a lawyer. So I finally stopped saying I'm just a lawyer. I realized that I had designed about 7 properties at that point. I had designed Richard's restaurants.
Yes,
I had done homes, and I decided in 2021 officially to open Design Redefined. And I put up the website. I was so scared, so nervous to post on Instagram and on Facebook. My husband was like, okay, you got to post on Facebook. That's where your following is. I'm like, no way. Judges and lawyers follow me on Facebook. If they see that I'm doing design, they're going to think I'm not serious about the law. People are going to laugh. But I posted my first design, and the outpouring was so positive. And in fact, my first clients were lawyers.
Yes. Well, and you guys have been together now for 14 years, married for 12. And I know, Richard, you're her biggest cheerleader. So I want you to spend a little bit of time talking about her eye for design. When did you recognize it?
It was funny. I recognized it fairly early once we were dating. So she had a friend design her apartment for her or do some updates to her apartment, but then she kept on changing it and she kept on putting in her style. And as we learn more about each other and learn more about her Caribbean heritage as well, I realized that she has a flair to her and she has a specific view on how things should be. Now, that's great, and our house looks phenomenal, but it also is annoying because I can't sit on a couch or I can't move a pillow or anything like that. So I saw it in her and I tried to push her more. And sometimes I just needed her. So I remember that house. What she failed to mention is that we just went a little bit over the budget on the renovation plan. So that's all I had left. And she did a phenomenal job with it. And with our first restaurant, I did the exact same thing where we went over budget again. And she only had $500 to design the first island spot.
Wow.
And she was, the thing I love about her is her ingenuity and her passion and her drive. And that came through with, we went to a salvage yard and took some shutters and refinished the shutters, and she sewed the curtains in the restaurant. And, she's always this industrious person that had a clear view of what it should be and had the drive to go finish it.
Wow, we're going to pull up your portfolio page, and as we scroll down the portfolio page, Chalon, I want you to kind of narrate. I mean, you have a diverse, different backgrounds here. Look at this modern play.
The one at the top right was the second version of the restaurant when Richard actually gave me an adequate budget in 2020 and I was able to redo it. I definitely love to make play spaces for children. And so the turquoise and purple was a game room for a 9-year-old girl. And I love movie rooms. People will get the movie rooms, but never take it to the next level that makes it an actual theater. You can create that at home, which is great now. Everyone's streaming and people should invest in the place that they play.
Yes. And when you come into a room that needs an overhaul, does the room kind of speak to you?
Absolutely. I cannot walk into any room without redesigning it in my head.
Yeah, that's a gift.
Yes, I definitely thank God for that gift. And so the name of my company is Design Redefined because I do come in and take your design because I want it to feel personal to you. I'm really focused on bringing your culture into design, but I just redefine it. And so you're still going to feel at home.
Well, I want to pull up the article that first drew my attention to you. This is the local profile article, Piece of Jamaica in Texas, which is a nice transition to the hospitality brands that you have. And as we scroll down this page, look at that. I mean, you have a number of different brands, and you're also an incredible parent. I mean, that's a lot to juggle. So let's talk about your Caribbean roots and how you're bringing that to Dallas.
So I'm from Jamaica originally, and my biggest thing was while I was a consultant, I was traveling around, and they took me to the #1 ranked Jamaican restaurant at the time, and it wasn't really what I expected. That restaurant is now closed, but it left a mark on me, and I was trying to figure out, can we do something better? And really, what I was trying to figure out is how to share my culture better, and eventually started the Island Spot. That first foray into it didn't quite go the way I wanted to. It went the way of most restaurants, which is failed within the first year. But I still had the thought of what did I want to do? And that's to share my culture in an authentic manner. We revisited it, reopened it. I did what any self-respecting man would do, and I went and asked my mom for help. So she came in the restaurant, and she brought her homemade recipes, and then we got a French-trained chef to work with her and create restaurant-scale recipes, and that's how the Island Spot was reborn.
Wow.
And 13 years later, we have multiple stores now, and we use that as a basis to create the Personal Hospitality Group.
Yes, and you guys are always redesigning stuff, including Bone Daddies, which is a fairly iconic brand. We're going to pull up the website for Bone Daddies, and Chalon, if I remember right, it was a restaurant.
Yes,
when you guys,
yes, it was.
Yeah, so it had a certain appeal to a certain segment of the population.
Right.
What did you guys decide to do with Bone Daddies?
So what's funny is that the first time I went to Bone Daddies, Chalon took me there on a date.
Mm-hmm.
So Chalon used to always go to the original store, and she wanted the food because it tastes really good to her.
Right. I didn't even notice that it was a restaurant. I was like, do you want some good barbecue? There is some great barbecue at this place.
Sure.
So over time, I kept on going because I love the barbecue. And when someone approached me about potentially acquiring the Island Spot, I flipped the question back to them is like, well, I'm not selling, but let me know what other brands you have available. And so happened that Bone Daddies was an option. And came home, told Chalon about it. She looked at me the way she looks at me when I have my harebrained ideas. And I felt like Bone Daddies had really good food. And one of the things I try not to change is I can't fix food. We can change the decor. We can change the experience. We can help to elevate how people feel when they get in the store. But I can't change the food. I am not that good of a chef. So we bought Bone Daddies, and we had that vision, which is we wanted to bring it back and emphasize the food aspect of it. We still had really good spaces because it has all these TVs as much as any other sports bar. And then we want to create a little bit more in the crafted cocktails to provide more drinks that I would love. I'm not that big of a beer drinker,
Sure.
but I love the barbecue. I love to watch a game there. I love the atmosphere, because people are having fun. And you can still create that ambiance without having to be a restaurant.
Sure.
We felt like it's a great canvas to think about how do we envision it for the next stage of its evolution.
And Chalon, did you have to do anything to the interior design?
We are in the process of updating the interior. We've owned it a little less than a year now, right?
Yes.
And so we are trying to lighten it up, make it more lively and fun, a place where women would also enjoy watching the game. We have changed the music.
We did.
Yeah, and we're going to go for a more tongue-in-cheek type of sexy vibe instead of just blatant.
Yes.
yes.
I like
So
that.
yeah, we're just gonna kind of play off the name, just like we be boning, that
Yes,
kind of
yes,
thing.
yes.
Just fun.
I love that. I also saw a nice piece that was done on you by Channel 33 here in town. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Well, the DFW Metroplex is a melting pot of cultures. We've got flavors from all over the world, but here at the Island Spot, they're introducing us to some Caribbean flavor. Let's go see what they have.
So the Island Spot is about giving people a true, authentic sense of Jamaica. And how we think about that is through our 3 R's. We say we share the joys of Jamaican food and culture through rich food, reggae, and rum. And once we hit all of those, we think you can have a fantastic experience.
I would just say the Island Spot is trying to bring Caribbean culture to the whole world. It's something we enjoy. It is the roots of our culture, of where we're from. He's from Jamaica. My family is from the Bahamas. And there's so much that we want to share with the world about the culture. For the interiors of the Island Spot, we really wanted to focus on making people feel like they stepped into Jamaica, into the islands. And I did that by adding a lot of personal elements. I took photos from us on vacations to many different islands, and we took those and framed them out so people could actually experience what it's like. It was really important for me to include history and culture. We didn't want it to be cheesy or hackneyed. It wanted to be something that people actually left here learning something. So our menus, as you see here, have patois on them, and that's the dialect that they speak in Jamaica, and it explains like what it means. There's definitions.
So the Island Spot's menu is actually broken up into 2 major parts. So we have one part called Straight from Yard, which is how we pronounce it. And that's the authentic cuisine that you will get on the streets in Jamaica. So that would be your oxtails, your jerk chicken, the things that are rich, bold, flavorful items that people look to expect. The other side of it, we call it Jamaicanized. And that's what we do is we take some of the items that people know. So nachos. But we'll make our cheese with a jerk sauce in it. We'll put jerk chicken on it, and we kind of make our little twist on it. We have a jerk barbecue baby back ribs. We have jerk burgers. So we put our island flair on it. And at the same time, we're trying to give you a chance to engage with something that you know, so that eventually you move over to the more authentic side of the menu.
In other words, we're allowing them to dip their pinky toe before they make the plunge.
For us, we love to make crafted tropical cocktails, and we want to showcase the really multiplicity of rum. Right, so we are big on rum. So we have 2 sides of our bar. We have the rum bar, which gives you the ability to try over 30 different rums from 15 different Caribbean islands. And on the other side as well, we have the standard drinks, but we put a rum twist on it. So we currently have 2 locations, here in Bishop Parks, where we're sitting right now, and one in Carrollton. Our 3rd location opens late 2023, and that's in Farmers Branch, so we're excited about that.
Which I'll be designing.
And on top of that, we have live music every first Friday, a live reggae band in our Carrollton location. Every second Saturday, we have a reggae day party here in Bishop Arts, and you should definitely try our brunch. We have some unique things like jerk, shrimp, and coconut grits. We have our own version of chicken and waffle with a homemade mango chutney on the side. And we have just so many different flavorful foods, so you can definitely, if you want to try Jamaican food in a unique way, come and try one of those.
So you can find me at yourdesignredefined.com and follow me on Instagram at yourdesignredefined.
And you can learn more about the Island Spot at theislandspot.com or on Instagram at the Island Spot.
Okay, if you are drooling over this food like I am, don't forget that the Island Spot has more than one DFW location. If you want to know more about them or to see more stories like this, you can head to our website at cw33.com for more. Cheers.
I love it that you're both so creative in your own way, right? And so talk about the reaction that you've gotten so far to this concept.
To the Island Spot.
Yes, it's funny because we have people reaching out to us that are telling us about the Island Spot and when they find out that I'm Jamaican, they're like, you got to try this place, right? I'm like, yeah, I kind of know about that one. But that's the thing that I love, which is trying to create a brand or a concept that people are willing to share from a word of mouth standpoint. And there are people that don't know I'm the owner and don't know Chalon is the designer of it that is sharing it with us. And that's the biggest part to us. That's when I know we've hit the mark.
Yeah, and for me, it's all about creating the experience of being in Jamaica. And it's what I bring to my design anyway. There is a void, I think, in the design space of people of color and culture and doing the same thing over and over again instead of making it very unique. Because when someone comes into your home, they should know something about you. You shouldn't have the same, nothing against Pottery Barn, I love them, but everyone shouldn't have the same Pottery Barn couch. You know, what are some of the things from your grandmother, or what's telling the story about you? And so we're doing that same thing in the Island Spot. When you go to the Island Spot, we want you to leave having known something about Jamaica, feeling like you've been there. And so that's really important to me for the brand.
And as you guys look over the next 10 years, I mean, you're still a young couple. You got lots of years in front of you.
We don't feel that way sometimes.
Feels hard.
What's the dream? How big is the company? Do you have locations in all 50 states? How big can you dream?
So that's the interesting thing. We create this thing called our Vivid Vision for the brand. And the vision that I have for it is that the present house is a platform. And it's a platform that has not only the Island Spot, it has Bonnet as well and other culturally equivalent brands. Either we're going to create it or we're going to acquire it, similar to what we did in Bonnet is. We believe that we have a basis to create a national brand or more than one national brand and a super regional. And that national brand could be the Island Spot. We're creating it to share the Jamaican food and culture with a broader audience. And we think that is not only possible to be all across the Caribbean, but we think it can be a global thing as well. And finally, we're fairly excited, and Chalon is leading this side of the business, which is the Island Spot Villas. We believe there's a subset of the market that's not truly being addressed, which is luxury, high experience, beautifully decorated, exquisitely designed, and also give you a hotel level experience in these villas. And we are going to create that across the Caribbean in Island Spot Villa. Our first one is opening next year. And Chalon showed us the design and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, we want to focus on lifestyle, luxury, and leisure. And so my biggest dream is to open this Island Spot, which will be open next year, and do it all over the Caribbean. We want to just take over the world, introducing people to real Caribbean experiences.
Yeah. Okay. In the last 2 minutes, I want to give you both a chance to brag on each other. So, Chalon, why don't you start? What does Richard bring to this incredible company that is so critical?
Richard is a natural-born businessman. I mean, he was a kid buying juice and reselling it, getting candy shipped from the U.S. and selling it to the kids in Jamaica. I just love that he has he mind for entrepreneurship, but then on top of that, he's such a giving person. So he's always trying to figure out, how can I help people as I grow a business? So whether that means he's giving jobs to people who just came from Jamaica and giving them opportunities, he finds a way to have business uplift community.
Mm. Okay, same question, Richard. What does Chalon bring?
Chalon is a visionary. It's funny when I see her step into a space and she's able to see what the exact space is. I'm surprised when I finally get there. So it takes her a while to bring me along. And when I see it, I'm always overwhelmed with how detailed it is, how well put together it is. And I think sometimes it doesn't really apply just to the space. It applies to how she thinks about life. So it applies to how she thinks about her family. She has a clear understanding of what we should be and how we should raise our girls. It applies to how she thinks about the law and how she juggles both. And she has a clear view of what the right outcome is for her client. And she's passionate about what she does. So I'm excited about that with her.
Wow. What a great couple. You inspire me. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. We've had so much fun. Thank you so much for having us.
We're going to leave you with a couple of ways to contact this amazing couple. We're going to start with Chalon's website, which is yourdesignredefined.com. And then on the Present House Hospitality Group, we're going to share their LinkedIn page. And feel free to reach out to either or both of them and connect. Thank you both for coming on the show.
Thank you again.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.